Hello, Lovelace, and welcome to today's history lesson. We're going to carry on our discussion about the Anglo-Saxons, and today in particular, we're going to think about where they came from and why they came to Britain. So you can see our objective question in the corner there. Can I explain where the Saxons came from and why they came to Britain? Those will be your two tasks for today. Okay. If we start by looking at the map on the screen, you can see that we've got the United Kingdom here, and then we've got the rest of Northern Europe over here. Now, before the lesson starts, just have a think. Where do you think the Anglo-Saxons might have come from? It's somewhere on this map. And also, whilst you're looking at the map, hopefully you all know roughly where we are now. Now, I am aware that some of us are not currently in the United Kingdom, so they might not be on this map. But hopefully you'll know roughly where school would be. And I'm hoping you're pointing just to the left, just to the northwest of London over here somewhere. Okay, so that's where we are. But today's challenge is all about where the Anglo-Saxons were, where the three tribes, the Angles, the Saxons, and the Jutes, where they were and where they came to in Britain. Okay. Now, there must have been quite a strong draw, quite a strong pull on the Anglo-Saxons to make such a dangerous crossing. Because in those days, transport would have been wooden longships, and crossing the North Sea would have been quite a long and quite a dangerous journey. Now, you'd only make that journey if they felt it was worthwhile. So we're going to look at the different reasons why they would make such a dangerous crossing to settle in Britain. Well, thinking back to yesterday and the reasons why they might have moved in the first place. Why might you, nowadays, why might you move to a different country? Just pause the video, take a moment and have a think about reasons why people, why families just up sticks and move to a different country. Now, I'm sure you've come up with lots of different reasons. I've come up with a few. Here are my ideas. Maybe a new job. So if you're offered a job working in a different country, then that will cause you to move. What about a nicer climate? Lots of people emigrate to places like Australia or Florida, where the weather is a lot better. Maybe you're getting away from war or persecution. Persecution is where people treat you badly because of who you are, maybe because of your religion or the color of your skin, or lots of different reasons why you could be treated really, really badly by the government or the people around you. That's persecution. So maybe you're avoiding those things, trying to get away from them. Maybe there are more opportunities in this new country. Maybe you've got a better chance of getting a job or a better paid job, or maybe the jobs that you do are paid better. What about the quality of life? Would the housing you lived in be better? Would you be living in a nicer part of town? Would there be parks close by or countryside? Would medical care be better? All sorts of things that might make you think that your quality of life, the things you get to do and the way you spend your daily life would be better. And finally, maybe you'll move simply to be with friends and family because they already live in these locations. Okay, so 6 reasons. Now, thinking back to yesterday, we talked about push and pull factors. Push factors push you away from where you are now, and pull factors attract you to the new location. So pause the video briefly and have a look through these 6 and try and decide which of these are push factors, which are pull factors. Okay, so first of all, a new job. Well, if you've got a new job in a new country, then that is pulling you towards that country. What about a nicer climate? If the weather is fantastic in the country you're looking at, then you're being pulled towards it. Now, what about getting away from war or persecution? So if you're being treated really badly, or or the things going on around you are so horrible that you want to move, then you're being pushed away. More opportunities. So if you feel this other country has got better opportunities for you to work or be paid better or treated better, then you're being pulled towards it. Quality of life. This is a tricky one because it depends how you read it. Do we mean that the quality of life where you are is bad? Maybe you're in a very small house, or the quality of the build isn't very good, or the area you're living in isn't very nice, or there's a lot of crime. Lots and lots of things make you think that your quality of life where you are is not very good. Or do we mean that the quality of life you'll get in your new country is really good? Bigger, better housing, lots of countryside and park life and all sorts of things that make your quality of life really nice. So for this one, I've put push and pull because it depends how you understand quality of life. And finally, to be with friends and family. So if your friends or family are living in this country, then you are being pulled towards them. Okay, so they're the different push and pull factors that some people experience now when they're making a choice, making a decision whether they want to move to a different country. Now, if we go back to 410 AD, the Romans have just left, and we've got the Angles, the Saxons, and the Jutes trying to decide if they are going to make that long, dangerous crossing to Britain. Now, here's an Angle, and he's going to explain what it was all about. Good morrow, child. We Angles, together with the Saxons and Jutes, invaded Britain after the Romans left. We came across the North Sea in wooden boats from what you now call Germany, Denmark, and the Netherlands. We are good farmers, but our land often flooded, and it was difficult to grow crops, so we were looking for new places to raise our families. Now, if we look at that one, they were good farmers, but their lands often flooded. Is that a push or a pull factor? Hopefully you realise that they are being pushed away from their lands because they're not fit for growing crops. They can't grow enough food to raise their families, so they were looking for new lands. Okay, so that was a push factor. Because the armies of Rome had left, some Britons invited us to help keep out invaders from Scotland and Ireland, offering us money in return. What about this one? Is this a push or a pull factor? Hopefully you've realised that being offered money to travel to Britain would be a pull factor. Other people, like King Arthur, tried to fight us off, however, but we soon settled in what we now call England, meaning Angle land. Those that didn't like the Anglo-Saxons fled westward and went to live in Wales and Cornwall. Okay, so basically we can split Britain into three parts. We've got the Scots in the north of the island. We've got the Anglo-Saxons taking up most of England, and then the Britons were forced westward into Wales and down into Cornwall. Now, here's our map. Here's Britain. This bit here is Wales. So this is where some of the Britons would have settled. Here's Cornwall. So this is, again, where some of the Britons headed westward. And then we've got England, the rest of England here, which is where most of the Anglo-Saxons settled. And then Scotland to the north. What I'd like you to have a go at doing, first of all, is to draw this map. Now, I know that sounds very, very tricky. I know it's very fiddly and very detailed. Don't worry. I don't expect it to be exact, but I expect it to be good enough so we can recognise which country we're looking at. So there's your first job, to have a go at copying the map, including the European coastline. Now, I would like you next of all, to do a little bit of research and find out where the Jutes, the Saxons, and the Angles originally came from. So which countries did they start their journey from? Once you found out, I'd like you to mark them using the 3 colours in the key here. So using a yellow pen or pencil, mark where the Jutes started their journey, Saxons in red, and the Angles in green. Okay, so where did they originate from? Then I'd like you to find out where they landed. So where did they arrive in Britain? Use the same colour code to mark on where on the English coast did the Jutes, Saxons, and Angles arrive. And finally, I'd like you to draw an arrow joining those 2 marks. So for the Jutes, you will have a yellow mark somewhere on the European coastline, and you will have a yellow mark somewhere on the English coastline. Join them together with a line or with an arrow to show the journey they would have taken. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to ask you to pause the video now and give you a chance to complete that task. Okay. Now, hopefully, your completed map will look a little bit like this. I am not expecting you to have coloured in the map. That is simply to allow us to see where the land is and where the water is, so don't worry. But here are our 3 tribes. Our Jutes in yellow. Now they started their journey, their homelands were in northern Denmark here. And they travelled probably the longest of all the tribes down to southern England and Kent down here. The Saxons, they came from northern Germany. Germany is this big country here. So they left from Germany and the Netherlands, and they crossed to East Anglia, which is this sticky out bit of England here. Okay, so they probably had the shortest of the journeys. And then finally, the Angles, they left from southern Denmark here, but their tribes split, with one group going to Northumbria, which is just below the Scottish border, and one group going here to Mercia in what we now call the Midlands. So the 3 tribes, their 3 starting points, their 3 finishing points, or 4 finishing points because the Angles split, and the journeys that they took. Okay, so hopefully your map looks a little bit like that. Well done if it does. So we now know where the Anglo-Saxons came from, but can you remember why they made that long and dangerous journey? So here's your second task. Just a few sentences, but I'd like you to use your research skills, including the link in the lesson description, to explain why the Anglo-Saxons came to Britain. Now, it's well worth having a look at this website. The link is at the bottom of this page, but to avoid you having to type it out, it's also in the lesson description. So you should be able to just click on the link. But it's well worth a look. It's a BBC website, and within it, each of the tribes is represented, and you'll be able to listen to an audio version of them explaining why they made that journey. A really good page to have a look at. Okay? So there's your second and final task for today. Explain to me why the Anglo-Saxons came to Britain. Good luck with that. That's the end of today's lesson. Well done, and keep yourselves and your family safe, and I will see you very soon. Bye.